What have I done? Hey everybody, this is A7X Fan Ben, and this is a video, and sorry about the clickbait. Usually I hate clickbait, but in this case I wanted to do it because it's on purpose. Hopefully you saw in the title that it's not something bad that I did, and it's actually the opposite. In this video, it's kind of a double meaning. So in this video I'm going to talk about what I've done with Pirate CSG, in Pirate CSG, and for the community, and things like that. So I've got a list up in another window, and I'm just going to go through a lot of the stuff that I've done in my Pirate CSG career, if you will. So this is the type of video that would be good to watch, I guess, for people when I'm not in the community as much in the coming years or whenever, or if I'm absent for a while, things like that. And it's tough to endlessly focus on a game that it's hard to make money from, and that you can't produce because nobody can make the game without getting sued, most likely. So at some point there comes a time where just for practicality reasons, doing Pirates constructible strategy game stuff all the time doesn't really make a lot of sense in terms of, the practicality of needing to make money to live life and things like that and do other things. So not that I'm quitting or anything like that, to say the least. But yeah, it's a good overview of what I've done for the game and with the game and things like that. So I'm just going to go through. You can see I've got a ton of tabs up on this window here. So I'm going to go through all those. It's going to be pretty comprehensive. And that being said, there's going to be stuff that I don't mention that I've done as well. So it might seem like bragging, but it's more just kind of a review of where I've been, where I've come from, and how much I've done, kind of like as an explanation for like, if I'm not super active making Pirates content in the 2020s, for example, as a whole, this is why. Like, it's kind of like been there, done that. Like, I did all these videos, all these podcasts. I've already reviewed every ship in the game, basically, between the podcasts and the collection review series, things like that. It's not like I've done it all, not nearly, and I still have a ton of stuff I want to do, and I have big to-do lists for Pirates that I'd like to accomplish in the long term, but at some point, it's like, holy crap, like, how much more can I give or how much more can I do? So anyway, so I'll start things off. So I've taught 17 players so far. This is actually being recorded August 25th, 2019, just for reference. But I taught 17 players, and I gave away a bunch of packs and duplicates to help them get started. Some of those came back to me because those people admitted that they wouldn't keep playing without me, instigating it, or they wouldn't have anybody to play with once they weren't in the same area location as me. So 17 players taught, which I wish it was higher, but eventually I hope to teach more players, of course. And then I became the moderator at Miniature Trading, which I think was December 2016. We've got archive.org up here. So I spent a few years or less as the Miniature Trading moderator along with Lord Denton. So this is a capture from 27th of June 2019, only a few days before the site got shut down July 1st. You can see moderator A7X Fan Ben. So that was really cool. And then I was also a moderator at the Black Mongoose Tavern because I requested that. I requested the Miniature Trading admin make me a moderator there. I think because Lord Denton's account went inactive. So then once I became mod, I was the only one that could like unlock posts and whatnot, or unlock threads from that forum. So I've been the moderator at both of the Miniature Trading Pirates forums, and I also created the Thread of Threads, which is a huge compilation of threads from miniature trading. If you go on archive.org, some of these URLs might work. Sometimes you have to delete the last part of the URL to make it more simple for it to recognize it. And then the post number, of course, 6,166 posts at miniature trading overall. So that's a pretty massive number. I think the second most in the Pirates community was Holoferns with around 3,500. Wolf had like, I don't know if he got to 3,000, but anyway, well over 2,000. So 6,000, so almost twice as many as anybody else, or the next two combined, stuff like that. So, and then here's my profile page, which was viewed about 64,000 times total, which is cool. 122 tracked trades, and that came to 73 references. So if you ever want to trade with me, that's a good thing to look at, to know that I'm a trader you can trust. And then 17 miniature reviews. That's really more like 18 because I did one that was separate from the miniature review format, or it was like a forum review of a custom game piece, and then about 120 fleets, which I think is the most that was on miniature trading. Lord Stu had 81, so I passed him years ago. So 120 fleets total, approximately. And then I'm also an admin at both of the Facebook groups. I actually created the Pirate CSG buying, selling, and trading group. So I'm an admin at both of those. And then I also created the Pirates Discord server after someone requested that. So I'm the server owner there on the Discord. And then let me make sure I'm going in order. And of course I created Pirates with Ben too. First at Weebly and then from other stuff too. Or the WordPress site that I created in April 2018, which has grown a ton since then. Now it's August 2019. It's way bigger, way more filled out. So I'm really, really happy about that and proud of the site's growth and how much content is on there now that you can look at. And then Instagram, over 3,000 posts there. Not many followers to show for it, of course. Like it's kind of not that great, but still 3,000 posts on Instagram. I think I joined in 2015, so that comes out to somewhere around like 2 posts per day. So pretty crazy amount of content on there. I have a Tumblr. I don't use this anymore. There's some YouTube stuff on it from 2019, but I don't really use the Tumblr on purpose anymore. But I have an account there. Twitter, 17 followers there, not many, but I don't really do anything there either. There's like an auto posting from Instagram, I think, but that was 2015 that I joined that as well. So I have the different social media accounts, and I did use Twitter to reach out to Tops, and I think maybe WizKids as well. And that was weird. But and then on VASSAL, in 132 games on VASSAL, my record is 81-51 for a 614 winning percentage. So that includes a ton of really competitive games in VASSAL Tournaments number 1 and number 2, where I won a lot of competitive games with really good fleets and against really good fleets. And then what I'm even more happy about is my VASSAL CG record. CG stands for campaign game. So that's the 3 VASSAL campaign games that I spearheaded. I've won all 3. So my overall complete campaign game record in non-solo campaign games, like campaigning against actual players, is also 3-0. So I'm undefeated on VASSAL campaign games, which is one of my favorite things about Pirates, or my experience with Pirates anyway. So now I'm at 433 total games played, which I think last I checked was the most at Board Game Geek by far for total plays of Pirates of the Spanish Main, as it's listed on Board Game Geek. And then here you can see my monthly totals. So I had a span for where I think I played a game of Pirates for like 28 months in a row, which eventually that streak was broken. And then you can see the total at the bottom there, 433 total plays. So pretty huge number. So that's more than, playing every day for a whole year. And then of course, a lot of those campaign games took way more than a year. So speaking of which, I played, I think, 14 huge games now, which I define as a game of at least 1,000 total points in play. So 14 huge games is just insane. Like the time commitment and the level of playing and passion for that's required for that is just immense and kind of hard to fathom in a lot of ways. And it's looking back on some of them, I'm kind of shocked by how much I did or how much I've played and stuff like that. It's kind of like, wait, I did that? It's pretty wild. So anyway, and then yeah, I won a ton of competitive games. And then my high-paying Port Frenzy fleet actually finished second in VASSAL Tournament number 2 as one of the best fleets ever made. But of course, that was inspired by Darrin, so I'm not gonna claim complete credit over that fleet, even though I made it. It was a derivative work from Darrin's UPS strategy, of course. So, but anyway, I do have a super competitive fleet that's wicked good too. So I've won the first 3 VASSAL campaign games. The 4th is in progress, sort of. And I've organized all of them. So I spearheaded all 3 of the VASSAL campaign games. And I was also the main driver and creator behind the World and Caribbean games. Xeric's helped a lot with both of those, of course, but I've made the maps and a lot of the rules and stuff, and like put things together and organized both of those. And then, of course, one of my claims to fame is that I'm the player of the largest Pirates CSG game ever recorded, at least. So that was Command the Oceans in late 2017. It took over 3 months, and eventually it became the biggest game that anyone's ever like recorded, especially in terms of like very specific stuff. So this one, there's a picture of it, of one of the oceans. It was too big to have only in one ocean, so I had 3 different oceans across 2 rooms to play the game. So I ended up peaking at over 9,000 total points and over 500 ships in play. And you can see more details in the tag, of course. I'm going to try to have links to quite a bunch of this in the description below if you want to check out more. And the Huge Game Legacy thread is a good intro. There's a lot of spoilers in there, so you want to read the whole battle reports to get, you know, if you actually want to learn about the game, read the whole battle report, which are linked in the Huge Game Legacy thread, and the battle reports compendium, which is part of the sidebars, or most of the sidebars that Pirates have been. So anyway, it's the biggest game of all time as well. And then looking at my list here, this one is really random, but I think it's cool though. Oh man, I just adjusted a Chrome setting where it shouldn't reload tabs, so it looks like it still is going to. That's disappointing. Anyway, I changed the setting so that like when you go around to different tabs in a window, they shouldn't reload automatically, but looks like it's not working as well as it should, but oh well. So I'm one of only 82 gold session reporters at Board Game Geek, so that's board users that have submitted at least 100 session reports, so that's pretty cool. And of course all of them are for Pirates CSG, so that makes it even more specific to this game, to say the least. So anyway, so one of only 82 people at Board Game Geek for that. And then from my Board Game Geek profile, you can also see, the Golden Session Reporter badge right there, and then the Pirate CSG micro badges, and then I'm also a Platinum image uploader, so that's cool. Anyway, so I just added that one pretty recently, actually. And then on YouTube, of course, I've gone crazy with YouTube over the past few years since 2017, so now I'm at 224 subscribers and 344 videos, so that's almost a video a day for a year in a way. So, and I've only been making on Pirates content on YouTube for a little over 2 years now. It was like June 2017, I think. So that is almost averaged out to a video every other day. Not quite, of course, but not too far off from that here in August 2019. And then at Miniature Trading, I spent almost 8 years to the day at Miniature Trading, and you can see on my profile, June 27th, 2011 is when I joined. So, and then it shut down on July 1st, 2019. So almost exactly 8 years to the day at Miniature Trading. And then the podcast, of course. So 45 episodes of the podcast and counting. So it might be 46 by the time I release this episode, hopefully, or this video. And 2019 has really seen it blow up because of the guests. So James Ernest and Mike Selinker were both on separate episodes. So they're the original game designers, along with Jordan Wiseman, of course. And then Jason Michael, I had him on, former WizKids communications manager. And recently, in July, Tiffany O'Brien, the former WizKids product manager and brand manager, she was on number 45. So really happy about that. Of course, plenty of episodes with God Mason and Xerix and others. So a huge amount of time talking about Pirates on the podcast. If you really want to go deep on the game, some of these are over 3 hours long. A lot of them are over 2 hours. So just a really, really immense amount of content there. And then, yeah, this one's still reloading. But the Pirates on eBay history spreadsheet, I made this back in like 2011 or 12, keeping track of eBay prices in auctions, mostly auctions, over the long haul. So providing a lot of price data for the community and whatnot, historical averages and whatnot. So that's a document I'm constantly adding to, not quite every week, but whenever I find something to watch on eBay, then I can add it once the auction ends with the price and whatnot. And then of course saving Miniature Trading. I didn't save the site, of course, but saving a lot of content from it. So the empty database pictures, basically the whole database in a lot of different ways. And then, of course, I created the master spreadsheet from that. So then I also got a bunch of extra stuff from Miniature Trading, such as forum pages, like pictures of the threads, things like that, fleets, miniature reviews, including some that weren't my own, and just a ton of stuff, really. So kind of pretty overwhelming, definitely. I think that one of the Imgur folders is like 120 forum thread pictures in it, or maybe more than that. I don't even know how many it is. It's pretty crazy. So, and then in terms of collecting, this is from the 2014 Fleet Review. So that was back in 2014, so that was 5 years ago. I mean, my collection's not way bigger now, but still, I have added to it a bit. So at that time, I had 773 punched ships, which you can see in these pictures here, and I can put a link to the page on my site in the description, of course. So at this point, between sealed packs and then duplicates, maybe just duplicates alone, I'm probably at around 1,000 ships, I would estimate. Then you add sealed packs that I haven't opened that I might give away someday on top of that. It could be 11 or 1,200. I wouldn't want to say that many, but anyway, at least 1,000 between everything. And it may have been even higher in the past before I sold a few packs and gave some away as well. So, okay, let me keep going here. And then in 2016, I was the main driver behind reviving the VASSAL module, which is how you can play over the online server. So that started, well, it started in 2015, and then 2016 in February is when some of the games started, and that's when VASSAL Campaign Games 1 and 2 started, February 2016, and that led to dozens of games, and over 100 for me. Like I said, 132 total games on VASSAL for me over the course of basically 3.5 years. That's pretty awesome. And 3 completed campaign games, all of which I won around 1,000 ships. I have most of the sets pack complete. I have all 6 10 Masters now, along with just a lot of stuff. Not one of the best collections. I'm not a super collector, missing a ton of the LEs and expensive rare stuff, but I'm pretty much okay with that. Between VASSAL, you know, being able to use whatever you want on there, and proxies, and you know, even with Command the Oceans, I didn't use every single ship in my collection from that game. So if I had even more stuff, you know, get to a 5-digit game someday, hopefully I'll get to 10,000 total points. But that's going to be way decades in the future if it happens. So, and then I've taken the initiative a bunch of times to reach out to NECA, WizKids, and Tops, asking about the patents back in like 2017, I think, and then reaching out to the game designers to get on the podcast. So got out of my comfort zone a little bit, I guess, if you will, especially the past like 2 or so years, contacting a lot of the key people. I wish I'd done that sooner, but I just kind of didn't think of it, or just didn't like, I don't know, it just didn't like cross my mind as much as it should have, I suppose, but that's okay. And then 2 custom sets with over 1,600 combined game pieces. That's an estimate, but let me see if I can bring it up here. So my fantasy set is actually now bigger than my historical set. The Pirates of the Epic Seas is bigger. So that one has over 1,000 total game pieces now. And then my historical set, Pirates of the Age of Sail, has, I would estimate, around 600, but I'm not totally sure on that. So, and I'm very slowly adding to Pirates of the Epic Seas, but it's mostly done, but there's just a massive, massive amount of stuff there. So I think I have the most customs ever made of anybody in Pirates, but that's really up for debate, especially in terms of like custom creators from a long time ago. You just don't know what people made or how many, but in terms of stuff that's readily available, 1,600 is a pretty huge number. So yeah, so now, I mean, the number's 2,000 there, but that doesn't include all the others. So really it's at like 1,020 game pieces, essentially, in Pirates of the Epic Seas. And then on Pirates of Ben, I'm at 595 posts and 113 pages total. So, and that site I just started in April 2018. So it's blown up since then. I actually have a video on my channel introducing Pirates of Ben, and the menu is like 1 line, and there's like almost no content on the site. So now between the pages and posts, that's like 700 URLs worth of stuff, and that doesn't even count the forum. So now there's over 90 people registered at the Pirates CSG forum at Pirates of Ben, and in July 2019, I got my first #1 ranking for Pirates CSG in Google, which is actually one of the coolest things I've done, actually, at least for me personally. So it's not always the case, but sometimes, especially in July and maybe part of August here, if you search Pirates CSG in Google, my site will be #1 sometimes, and it depends on location. It might drop again if the content slows down, stuff like that. Like now I'm actually done finishing I'm done republishing battle reports. So that kept me going for a while, like 1 or 2 posts per day. So now that stops. I'm not sure. That's kind of harder to control, and Wikipedia, of course, is tough to beat sometimes. So that's what I've done. Again, this is a good video to watch if I'm ever gone from the community, and people seem to want like current content, like they want more pack openings or whatever. And it's like I've got 10 pack opening videos on my channel, and I'm not gonna buy packs just to do pack openings. Or they want like current content, and it's like, well, I mean, the game's been out of print since 2008, so like current content sort of in a lot of ways ended a long time ago, if you think of it that way. And I've just released so much content already. There's nothing wrong with seeing videos or podcasts from like 2017 or 2018, or reading about a game that happened in 2011. It's just as great because it doesn't have to be current. This isn't really a hobby or a game that needs to be, up to date with like current content. Because there's not a lot in terms of news, of course, because NECA's just sitting on the patent or whatever. So anyway, just kind of something I've noticed in the Pirates community. So if people want ship reviews, look at past stuff. Oh, and I think, yeah, that was one thing I was going to look at actually. But I've got like the rankings. There's like 90 rankings pages on my site. So I've ranked like all the ships from the different factions, or not all, but the top 10 or top 5 gold runners and gunships, stuff like that. And then you can see a ton of stuff in the different categories and tags on my site. So the content basically never ends. You just have to look for it sometimes. So yeah, so for example, categories on my site, so that doesn't include tags. There's a ton of tags on my site too. So 66 blog episodes, 289 battle reports, 120 fleets, 49 posts that I've labeled as informational. So that would be great for newbies or just anybody really. 18 miniature reviews, 90 rankings, 18 reviews. So that's usually set reviews and things like that. And then 60 uncategorized as of now. So just an insane amount of stuff out there. So anyway, if you're looking for content on pirates, chances are I've made something about it or something along those lines, at least, even if it's not something that's exactly what you're looking for. So anyway, so the question of the day is, what have you done? But of course, you can answer it however you want. You could answer it like what you've done in the Pirates world, I guess, like how many games you've played, things like that, or maybe how many ships you have. Or you could take it the other way and something bad that happened, like you stepped on a ship. It's like some horror story of how you broke a 10-master. It doesn't have to be, but just kind of being silly with the clickbait title. So anyway, this was a cool video I've been wanting to make for a while. So check out the links in the description to see a lot of the content I've made and some of the stuff I talked about in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon for more Pirates content.